Okay, this class is dedicated to the memory of Rachelea Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. So, we're going back to Daniel, who we left a while back. So, just to recap, since it's been a while since we learned, we spoke about Daniel, one of the royal children from the house of David, who was brought into Babylon to be raised by Nevuchadnezzar in his royal court, in the hopes that he would bring some of the Jewish genius and charisma and inner drive to the Babylonian court. So he and his three companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, grew up there. That was their environment. And they all somehow maintained themselves in this environment. They didn't compromise on kashrus, quite the opposite. They ate whatever they could eat that was permitted, nuts, fruits, whatever. And they did just as well as the other children did who were eating from the royal table, which was a miracle in and of itself. The first episode in Daniel's life as somebody unique and individual that the Navi presents us with is as follows. Nevuchadnezzar, who at this point was the ruler of the entire known world, had a dream. He was very disturbed by the dream and he wanted an interpretation. He commanded his wise men to interpret it, but he wouldn't tell them what the dream was because he didn't want them to sort of tailor-make the interpretation to fit their perception of what the dream should be. Rather, he wanted to see if they really had the inspiration to know what's happening, to read the map, so to speak. So he wouldn't tell them the dream, but yet demanded an interpretation. They couldn't do it. So we did at the time when we spoke about this go on a bit about dreams and dream interpretation. But the bottom line is that the fact that they couldn't interpret the dream and the fact that he had a dream that left him so shaken meant that a deep message wasn't legible, wasn't readable. So he desperately wanted a solution to this. He wanted to know what the dream meant, and he knew that they're clueless. He ordered them executed because to him, their inability to know the dream and its interpretation meant that they were charlatans, that they could never read the map, that what he was hearing all along was projections and nothing more. At this point, Daniel steps forward, addresses himself to Arioch, who's the head of the royal household, tells him not to be in such a hurry to kill the entire population of wise men in all Babylonia. That in fact, give him time, and he'll come up with the solution. Meaning, he alleged that he already knew the dream, and it was just a matter of having to find out the solution. So here's where this gets tricky. I'm not sure how much more beyond this point I got with you because it's been such a long time. I think that we left off more or less here, so if the next couple of psukim are a little bit redundant, bear with me because we certainly didn't get very far beyond this. Okay, so we're in Perek Aleph, and we just read where we are. Excuse me, Perek Bet. Second. We're Pasuk Yud Aleph. This is what I have marked off. So let us hope that's right. So Daniel is doing the talking over here. Okay, what's he saying? Umilsa de malka sha'el yakira v'acharan lo isai diachivanik damalka lechein eloka di madarhon in bisra lo itohi. So he's saying that any king who has authority like this hasn't asked all of the interpreters and the hieroglyphic artists to bring forth anything like this. And there's nobody who could say all of this before the king. Only Hashem. Okay? This isn't possible for people who are merely flesh. So this is what's being stated before Daniel could even talk by the wise men. They're telling him that he asked for mission impossible. V'chalka beit Dinan Malka Benas v'ketzav sagi v'amar lo avada kalkalki kami Bavel. And as soon as he heard this, the king said with great anger and fury to make all of the wise men of Babylon perish. V'data nefka v'chakimai metaklin uva Daniel v'chavoraya litkatala. And the law was given, and all of the wise men of Babylon were going to be killed, including, and this of course would include by the it doesn't say by the nature of things, okay, that also Daniel and his friends would be killed. Okay, Beit Daniel Heitiv ata ute'em la'araya achvav tevachaya dimalka dinafi katala lachakime Bavel. So Daniel at that time gave counsel to